Jungkook, 15 June, year 22. A noise from outside the room roused me from sleep. I was having a strange dream, but couldn't quite remember the details. The night of the traffic accident, replayed like a blurry CCTV screen in black and white. I could feel my heartbeat slow down and then quicken explosively. All of a sudden, pain surged and someone was whispering faintly. The next minute, I woke up breathing. My entire body was soaked with sweat. The sunlight came through the window and right onto my face. I stepped into the hallway and was met by the usual scene. It was my first time to use the crutches. I still needed to get used to them, but they were much easier than a wheelchair. I went outside through the entrance. It was breezy. My sweat cooled quickly, and it felt chilly on the back of my neck. It wasn't as warm as I thought inside my patient room. As I sat down on a bench and opened my sketchbook, the doctor in charge came over to me. He said it was a miracle that I had recovered. He hadn't thought it would be possible. He tapped me on my shoulder, saying I was the living proof of a miracle. You should be good for the rest of your life. I turned my head and saw a girl standing there who I had met yesterday in the hall. The girl said it was so amazing to find a miracle right next to her and asked me how I felt. I responded that I was just really healthy. I lowered my eyes again to the sketchbook. Before I knew it, I was drawing what I had seen in my dream. My memories were blurred like the CCTV screen. It was hard to concentrate on my drawing or the memories because the girl kept asking me questions. After a while, I looked up. A familiar song was playing. Someone was giving a performance in the distance. I definitely knew this song. Yoongi sometimes played this in his workroom. I went over to the stage on my crutches. A lighter marked YK was hanging on the guitar. Jimin, 3 July, year 22. Hoseok had been in a bad mood since he visited Jungkook. If anyone could truly tie the seven of us together as we, Hoseok could. He embraced and protected us like a shelter. But he wasn't always as bright and cheerful on the inside as he tried to appear in front of us. It was closer to a sense of responsibility. He instinctively sensed the wounds and pain of those around him and couldn't bear them well. This was why he pretended to be livelier than he actually was by nature. Even today, Hoseok just sat in one corner of the practice room for a long time and left without saying a word. I joined Just Dance and began to learn how to dance right after I returned from the sea. Hoseok gave me the opportunity. I was awkward at meeting new people as I'd spent too much time in the hospital. He brought a new dance partner too. She was a friend he had met at the orphanage. She was the only person who could make him laugh when he was in that mood. When she murmured something while looking at his phone together, he chuckled. You laughed, she made fun of him. Hoseok turned his head away, telling her to stop it. He chuckled again. The practice room became silent in a flash after I turned off the music. I just lay there on the floor. I liked dancing when I was little. I danced a lot and often was praised for it. But the patient room wasn't a good place for dancing. When I attended school in between hospital stays, I just sank my head on my chest to avoid the eyes of my classmates. After a while, my body felt so stiff. I couldn't perform the motions that Hoseok did so easily. There was nothing to do but keep practicing even after everyone else had left. I replayed the video of the dance moves I had learned earlier on my phone. Hoseok's moves were fluid but accurate in the video. I knew that they were a product of years of practice and that it would take a long time for a novice like me to reach that level. It was wishful thinking. I could only keep sighing out aloud. I went to my parents' house the day I left the beach alone. As I looked up at the brightly lit windows, I couldn't help but think, has this place ever been our house? I pressed the bell at the front gate. It took a while for it to open. I took the elevator and got off at the 17th floor. Although the door was open, no one came out to greet me. My parents were sitting on the sofa in the living room, watching a black and white movie on TV. I don't want to go back to the hospital, I blurted out after some hesitation. Don't worry, I won't do anything rash, but I'm not going back there. Where have you been? Mom asked. With my friends. Friends? Go wash up and go to bed. We'll take some time to think about what to do with you. Dad cut in. I bowed and went to my room down the hallway. As soon as the door closed behind my back, I collapsed. We'll take some time to think about what to do with you. Dad's voice rang in my head. I tried to brace myself, but it wasn't easy. I barely slept that night. Instead, I made 2 resolutions. I'll discover what I'd like to commit myself to, and I'll prove that I am good at it. I picked myself up and stood in front of the mirror. I could imitate the turns pretty well, but my feet kept getting twisted up. I kept making mistakes. I was supposed to do steps with my new dancing partner the next day, and I wanted to impress her. I wanted to be recognized as an equal instead of hearing not that. Jimin, 4 July, year 22. When I came back to myself, I was rubbing at my arm so hard that my skin peeled off. My hands trembled and I could hear the sound of my heavy breathing. A thin stream of blood ran down my arm. By the reflection in the mirror, I could see that my eyes were bloodshot. Fragments of what just happened raced through my mind. I had lost concentration while dancing with my partner. My steps got tangled. I crashed into her, fell down, and skinned my arm. The blood reminded me of the grass flower arboretum. I felt suffocated. I couldn't remember how I got up, ran out of the practice room, and made it to the restroom. I scrubbed and washed the scrape like crazy, becoming more and more frightened at seeing the blood sucked down the drain. I thought I had overcome this. I thought I was okay, but I wasn't. I had to flee. I had to wash it off. I had to look the other way. Then I suddenly realized that my partner also fell. I quickly rushed back to the practice room, but there was no one there. Her overcoat and Hosek's bag were scattered on the floor. I ran outside. It was raining hard. I could see Hosek with my dancing partner on his back, running with all his might in the far distance. She seemed to be unconscious. Her limp arms swayed in every direction. I chased after him with an umbrella in my hand but came to a stop. I tried to recall the moment she fell but couldn't. Then when I saw the blood, everything around me vanished. I wouldn't be of any help even if I caught up with him. I'd hurt her by pushing her to the ground, but didn't even stop to see if she was okay because I was shaking like jelly at my own blood. I turned around. Every time I took a step, rain splattered onto my sneakers. The headlights of cars swished by me. It had rained on that picnic day a long time ago, just like today. On that day, I had run away from the grass flower arboretum. My body was covered with mud that looked like blood. I hadn't grown up one bit from that little 8-year-old kid. Hoseo, 7 July, year 22. My ankle didn't heal well. I had a small accident a few days ago. Now I can say that it was small, but it was serious at the time. Jimin and that girl ran into each other while practicing a dance move, and they both fell hard. I carried the girl on my back and ran to the hospital. It wasn't far, but it was raining. She was unconscious. While she got treated, I paced up and down the hallway. It was late at night, but the hallway in front of the emergency room was full of people drinking coffee from the vending machine or looking at their phones. Rain and sweat dripped from my hair. I shook my hair with one hand, sitting down on a bench in one corner, and dropped her bag by mistake. Coins rolled out on the floor, and ballpoint pens and a handkerchief were scattered all over. There was also a plane ticket. I knew that she had applied for an audition for an international dance team. The ticket must have meant that she won the spot. At that moment, the doctor called me up. I put the ticket back in her bag and walked around towards the doctor. He said that the girl had hit her head and had a concussion and that I didn't need to worry too much. It was still raining outside. I stood by the entrance with her. Hostel, the girl called me. She seemed as if she had something to say. Wait here, I'll go buy an umbrella. I ran out into the pouring rain. A convenience store came into view. I didn't want to hear what she was going to say. I wasn't sure if I could congratulate her. Jimin was anxiously waiting for me back in the practice room. I told him that the girl was okay, but Jimin looked dejected and bent his head low. The next morning, my ankle was swollen. I had tripped slightly the night before while carrying her on my back. It was raining and I was running. I didn't even fall. My foot slipped just a little. I put on pain relief patch and tried to walk more carefully. I thought it would be okay. It didn't swell up that much at first, but it got worse and worse. I had to stay on my feet all day at the burger joint, and I couldn't skip dance practice.